Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it's Monday. It's July 21st. This will be our chart listen for today. And you can see we closed higher today. We have a higher high, and a higher low, and we closed higher, but we backed off considerably off the highs of the day. So, not sure what to make of that if we're topping out up here on this breakout. But we'll see what tomorrow brings. So as of now, it looks like we could go higher. We backed off. We got back well into the overbought territory, but you see we backed off of that a good bit before the end of the day. So um, we could come back and test this breakout area again. Sometimes you have to test those breakout areas a few times before prices will go higher. Sometimes they just come back and test it once and then take off. So we'll see what tomorrow brings, but this market acts like it wants to go higher, so it wouldn't surprise me if um, we don't get more higher prices tomorrow. It wouldn't surprise me if we backed off either, because we are overdue. This wasn't much of a correction. This was just kind of consolidation, so that leads me to believe we may go higher. Rather than when a market can't sell off, it's usually going to go higher. So let's see where a measured move is on this. So we didn't quite get a measured move, so I wouldn't surprise me if we don't go higher tomorrow. So we'll see what happens. But there it is on today. Just kind of a mixed trading day. We trended up and then trended back down. We still closed higher though. So let's flip over to the 2000 tick chart. Take a look at it. Go through the trades. There's not a lot of trades today. It was one of those slow days. But let's flip over there and take a look. Okay, here it is. No news items today, so didn't have to worry about any of that. But you can see the big move up early. And then we just kind of went sideways before selling off, and we recovered just slightly. It's not quite 4 o'clock, so we could still go higher or lower here. But it looks like this downtrend, we had a break and a new low, and now it looks like we're trying to go higher. There's just not much volume now. You can see it's not even moving. So there's not many people trading. It was just kind of a slow day altogether. Not a lot of volume today in the entire day. So it is what it is. Not much we can do about it. So, um, yeah, not a lot of trades. This won't take long today. Let's zoom in here. Early on, we were in this two-tier channel. You can see that. And we did open higher today and didn't fill that gap. So that might have been one reason prices tried to come back, but they still didn't fill it. So we could see some more downward action to fill that gap. But anyway, we started a new trend down right here. This was one down, then just sideways. So this is a new trend down. You get a first entry, and then we turn back down again and turn back up. I wouldn't trade this on the engulfing bar, but I still think that closes in the upper 1/3. So if you want to go long it on a break above that, that would be a second entry off the key entry point. So I like that setup. Turns out to be a good move. We don't really get another chance. Right about in here, it starts to look like a strong trend, but this is right into the other highs. There's probably room to get out, but I wouldn't take that close to that high. But when we came back again and again, you've heard me say this before on these. When you see these real tight channels that are real strong with lots of momentum, and the pullbacks are only a bar or so. Anytime you see that, when you get a good signal bar right off the key entry point, you can just about take that trade. And so you had one here and one here, and this one, there's a possibility you might argue. I always mark these green because this is much more advanced. Most of you should leave these alone. These are trades for very skilled chart readers that understand what's going on and can read the chart really well. So otherwise, don't trade these. If you're sim trading, of course, you might try it, but I wouldn't trade those live. But anyway, then we get a break here. You get 2 legs back. There's a second entry right here, and you do have a close outside, but not a good enough signal bar. You get a great high or low, but again, the signal bar is no good. It's close. Now, if you had a good signal bar there, I'd say take that trade. But the way that one looks, it's a doji. It looks like it closes right in the middle. and you just can't hardly trade that because you'll get burned on it, especially where it's sitting here. If it was on top of the EMA, maybe, or off the key entry point, but the EMA is considered a secondary key entry. It's like a minor key entry point. It's not a major one. Usually you need the trend line running congruent with it, or the midline or something. Um, but I don't like it the way it sits there. I marked it green, but I'm still not crazy about it. You might argue it's close to a triple test right there. 1, 2, 3, but this one's a little high, so it's like a double bottom with a higher low, so it doesn't even really qualify as a triple test. But prices run up. You get a break outside this temporary channel here at a new high, and then we're working down. And really what you have is a leg down, and then a correction and another leg down with a lot of sideways action in there as well. But it is a second entry by the counts. First entry, second entry, and that's a good enough signal bar, and it's right at the key entry point. I'm going to take that trade. Then we're working sideways here. You can't enter out of that, and high or low here, no setup. And again, you're just bouncing off that trend line every time you do it. It's just like a little minor pullback, and it goes higher. So it's still looking really strong here until we actually get a close outside and a couple legs up here. So you might go short on that. You're better off to wait on a lower high, and you don't get a setup there on a lower high, and it just runs all the way back down to the other side. Now notice this channel working down, and we've had no close outside of it yet. So don't take this entry right here or this entry right here. Wait until you get a close outside, a convincing close outside, and at least an attempt at a new low. And you finally get all that in one bar right here. So maybe you take that, but most of you should know by now, you're always better off to wait on the higher low. This is risky, therefore why it's green. Here's the higher low, sets up good, closes inside. That's the one you go with. And then there's a reversal pattern here. Break above that is a failed second entry short. It's going to send prices higher. Most likely it's going to trap shorts, and sure enough it does, and it runs it straight up. Now you do get a close outside and a move to a new high here. That is very tempting, especially since it closed inside. But if you take that trade, you get burned. When this turned out to be a doji, that's when I would have just waited. Well, actually, you wouldn't have known that till it closed, so you might have still got sucked into that trade. But this is why we always wait on a lower high first, and we actually do get a lower high, but by that time it's easy to see it's congestion or a range. So just sit tight. Don't take that trade. You know, if you got burned on this one, I can see why. But this one, there's no excuse because it's clearly congested across there. And we're just chopping along, and finally we do break out of there and turn down, but you can't go short right into support there. So no entry there, and then we're just chopping sideways. There's another range here. Looks something like that. So you can't really take that trade because there's no room to scalp out. You see it tries to bounce before it goes lower. And then finally you get a first entry, second entry right at a key entry point. That's a good setup. Plenty of room to get out. And that's just a first entry. And then we're correcting here. No setup here. And if this would have broke higher, maybe, but it doesn't like it qualifies either. I don't think it quite closes in the lower 1/3. I think that's close, but it's not quite there, so I didn't mark it. And then by the time you do get this lower high, it's well after 2:30, so no trades after that. So yeah, there it is. I mean, it wasn't much going on today. A lot of green ones, but most of you are better off to leave those alone. So it's just not much here today. Kind of a weak trading day, low volume, weak trading day. Summer seems to be slow, period. That's obvious. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. There's nothing else to say about today. Maybe tomorrow will be a little better. We'll be back again to do it tomorrow. I'm done for today. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.